Okay, we're coming back in here to our ceiling. All right, well, you can see where our joint is, where we've taped. Now we've ran our mud across there and our tape. And I just wanted to show you what happens when you try to refloat your first tape bed. Is you get these bubbles in there, and what you end up having to do is when it's dry, you have to cut that open, and then you have to retape that. Now sometimes, if you've got this mud wet enough, it'll shrink and pull it up in there with it, which is fine. But in this case, that 20-minute mud is not that forgiving. It won't work. But anyway, moving right along. Okay, you can see we got our edges. We got everything covered up. We got some really divots in our edges on this side. Come down here, we look pretty good on that edge. But all in all, what we've got our first float that looks pretty good. Alright, what we're going to do now is we're going to do the same thing again. But this time, what I'm going to do is move a little bit. Oh gosh. Try to move a little bit off center now to one side, on each side. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. Because what we want is our next bed to come out farther from the center now. See, each time we put a bed, we want to be coming out farther on each one. And this time we're going to be using a flat trowel instead of a curved one. Because from this point on, now that we've got our center here, then we start working from the center, working out. And we're going to be doing that on both sides. Okay, I hope I can get this on there good enough for you to see, since I'm having to do all this by myself. Now I've got a straight, no bend in it, 6-inch trowel. And what we'll be doing is coming on one side from the center, about the center, doesn't have to be exact, all the way down. Then we'll come to the other side from the center all the way down, because our curved trowel got us a good center all the way down. Now it's just a matter of filling in the gaps. As you can see, we've picked up a piece of dry mud. Don't fool it, leave it alone. The same with any imperfections you have, you know, like this line right here. Just leave it alone, don't worry about it. It'll clean up. Just knock it off. That's all you got to do. Alright, our first run. There again, wipe off the edges. Let's see, hopefully you can see how I've wiped off the edges. I've got about 4 inches of mud on there from side to side with the edges, because what happens, you get it over the edge, it just drips off and makes a big mess on your floor. This way it's a little cleaner. Takes a little longer, but for homeowners, this is the easiest way. Alright, start about your center. This is when you want to start pushing hard. Come back, clean it up. Don't worry about what it looks like. Again, put plenty on there. Wipe off the edges. Don't worry about what it looks like. Don't start cleaning it up yet. Just keep going over it. Until you got a good line like that. Alright, see, you've got the edge. The edge here looks good. Your center looks good. Pay no attention to this that loose. We've already explained that. Okay, now we'll do the other side. Same thing. See if I can get this up there and show you. Fill it up. Wipe off the edges. You've got just the edges. You've got a bunch, but you got the edges clear. Okay, same thing. Start here. Just keep cleaning it up. Just do a little bit at a time. Don't push too hard. Because what'll happen, then you'll start taking off the stuff on the other side, and then you'll have a big old divot in there. Alright. Hey, see, we need to come back and clean this side up. All you do here is just lightly run your knife across it. You want to stay on the outside, more on the outside than in the center. Okay. Do nothing else. That's all you need for right now. Now we're going to come back, we're going to keep giving it beds. Now, unless you're using hot mud, which is that 20 minute, 30 minute, 45 minute, or 90 minute stuff you mix up, each time you put regular mud on, you got to wait a day. I'm using hot mud because that way I can do everything in one day within the hour. But this stuff, you've got to really know how to work with it, or what's going to happen, you'll have a big old glob of this stuff sitting in your mud pan, and then that's really hard to get clean.